You good.
The resolution adopted by the General Assembly on March 27th of 2014 underscores that the referendum held in the Autonomous Republic of Crimea and the city of Sevastopol on 16th of March 2014, having no validity, cannot form the basis for any alteration of the states of the Autonomous Republic of Crimea or the city of Sevastopol. This was in response to Russia's illegitimate claim and annexation of Crimea in 2014. The United States and Ukraine have been allies since 1991, as Ukraine has helped with Operation Iraqi Freedom and conducted many democratic elections. This is why the United States was very adamant on condemning and pushing sanctions towards Russia during the Crimea annexation. First, I will describe the relations between the US, the UN, Russia, Ukraine, and Crimea. Then I will examine the unlawful annexation of Crimea and the UK and the United States and Ukraine's response to it, as well as the current state of the situation and the United States' position. According to the State Department, the US developed relations with Ukraine in 1991. The U.S. also provided $13.8 million for election oversight, support for independent media, nonpartisan political training, voter education, as well as training for democratic elections. In addition to Ukraine and the U.S., you also have government organizations such as the United Nations and NATO that assist with keeping peace within the world order. You also have Russia, and Russia was first recognized by the United States in 1803, but relations were tarnished because of the Bolshevik Revolution. President Franklin Roosevelt recognized the Soviet Union again in 1933. So in 2014, Vladimir Putin flooded Crimea, which was a part of Ukraine, with Russian soldiers. And that led to the UN General Assembly creating and adopting the resolution I read before. This also led to the Minsk agreements and a ceasefire. In 1991, Russia and Ukraine agreed to follow the Minsk agreements, which talked about disarming themselves, as well as moving blockades between their borders and keeping the separatists in line. On December of 2019, a ceasefire was then called by Vladimir Putin of Russia and agreed to by President Zelensky. This has been ongoing because after the Minsk agreements, they were not kept, and again, a civil war erupted. So therefore, the monumental step of a ceasefire being called, especially by Russia, gives hope that Crimea may be able to return back to the territory of Ukraine instead of under the rule of Vladimir Putin. The United States continues to condemn Russia for its actions towards Crimea and in response has provided military training and allocated $350 million for Ukrainian security, as well as downgraded Russia's political and military relationship. Crimean annexation was very unfortunate. However, it is good that both Ukraine and Russia have agreed to begin peace talks and negotiate peace between the separatists, as well as